Hello and welcome back to DFM TV. I am Dan the Firestick Man, your source for entertainment. And on today's video, we're going to be talking about cleaning up your Fire Stick to help you with your buffering. Now, I do have another video that I made called Fire Stick Buffering 101. It talks about the most common problem that causes a Fire Stick to buffer. I made it a completely separate video because I wanted to be very detailed and educate you guys on how all that works. This part right here is going to help with any buffering issues, but it's more like a maintenance thing. So if you have buffering here and there, this is a good things to do, good steps to take, good features to turn off so they're not constantly taking any more bandwidth out of what you're really trying to watch. But you really want to check out my other video as well. It's called Fire Stick Buffering 101 2022. Check it out, and that should help you a lot with your buffering problems. But let's assume that your internet connection and everything's perfect on your Fire Stick, but you still experience a little bit of buffering here and there. How do we go ahead and solve that? What are the features that you can turn off? What can you do to keep the Fire Stick running smoother? So let's get started by hitting the home button. And what I want you to do is I want you to work your way to the right to the settings. This is that gear right here that you see. Once you're over settings, I want you to go down, and we're going to start off by going over to applications. So let's go work our way over to applications. Click on applications. And the first thing that I want you guys to click on is going to be Amazon Photos. So let's go ahead and click on Amazon Photos. When you're in Amazon Photos, there are two features that are currently turned on right now: allow guest connections and access Amazon Photos. Now, if you're using these features, then you can go ahead and keep them on, but the majority of you are not going to be using this, so we need to disable it. However, guys, we need to do it in a specific sequence, or else it's going to glitch out and turn itself back on. So this is the proper way to do it. So just don't go ahead of me and start turning things off and moving along. Follow my instructions, and I promise that you'll get this right. The first thing that you need to do is go down to Access Amazon Photos. This is the first one that you want to do. You want to click on this, and you want to click on Disable Amazon Photos, and you want to click on Disable. Once you do that, it would automatically click you back a screen like it just did. I didn't do anything. It did it on its own. Now I'm going to go back into Amazon Photos, and notice the second one obviously says Disable. The first one says On. Now you're going to click on Allow Guest Connections. You're going to click on it. Now it's off. Now you can hit the back button. And if you go back into it now, that's off, and this is disabled. Now, you might be thinking, Dan, why are you acting crazy for? I mean, if you turn it off. Let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what I mean. Now, they're both enabled. Let me go back for a second. Go back in. There's on and enabled. Now, let's say I'm going to turn it off first. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on it, disable again. It kicks me back a screen. Now you notice that I turned it off first, right? I'm going to go back into it. What do you know? It's back on. This is why you do it in the sequence that I just showed you guys. I needed to show you that so you guys don't think I'm crazy. This will glitch out and turn the feature back on, and you want this to be off. So now that you're back in, and the Access Amazon Photo is currently disabled, let's go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to hit the back button. I'm going to go back in to double check. It stays off. Okay, that's why you do it the way I showed you. Now that you did that, you're going to work your way down to Game Circle. So that's this one right here that you see. Let's click on Game Circle. And that one, you're just going to go ahead and click on it and turn it off. Once that's off, you're going to hit the back button 2 times. Here's number 1 and number 2. It's going to bring you over applications, but where we want to go over to Preferences. So let's go ahead and click on Preferences. And then, again, there's a lot of stuff that you can do here, but I'm just going to do the most basic stuff that you can do to keep your Fire Stick running smooth. And that's going to be going down to Feature Content. Now, what Feature Content is, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, but first let's turn it off real quick. Let's click on it, and it doesn't matter which order you do this on, it's going to stay off. So let's click on Allow Video Autoplay. Let's turn that off. Let's click on Allow Audio Autoplay. Let's turn that off. Now we're going to go ahead and I just want you to tap the home button. Let's tap the home button. What Feature Content is this part right here. Okay, where it says to watch. It's going to jump over to another advertisement in a moment. But for most of you, when you go over to that spot, I'm going to do it right now. It usually starts playing a little clip of it, a preview of that particular advertisement. As you can tell right now, it's just jumping from one advertisement to the other. There's no video clip, and that's what feature content is. When you turn it off, you don't get those video clips. And the reason you want to turn it off, that's the main one you want to turn off, is because that's constantly running in the background. Those clips are constantly running in the background, ready for you to just highlight this spot, and it starts playing that video for you. So since a lot of people don't need it, if you want to see a preview of something, click on it and you'll see the information. You can actually look at a preview. But this way, you don't have that bandwidth being used up in the background of something that you hardly use when you need that bandwidth to watch whatever it is that you're watching. And you don't want to watch that with buffering problems. So that's going to free up a lot of the space when it comes to the bandwidth, and it's going to make your shows and your viewing experience a lot more pleasant when it comes to the Fire Stick, because you're not using up all that bandwidth. That's it, guys. Those are the only features that you're going to be turning off. Now, the only other thing that I recommend to do, and this is going to be maintenance, is to clear the cache on your current apps. Now, I'm going to move you over to the right again to settings. Okay, so your settings. I want you to go down, and we're going to work our way back to applications again. And click on applications. And this time, we're going to go straight down to manage install applications. That's this one right here. Click on that. Once we're in manage install applications, it's going to go ahead and show us all the applications that we currently have on our Fire Sticks. The ones that came for the Fire Stick and the ones that you actually added to it. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one, but I am going to show you a few things here. Now, I want to mention that we are working right now with a 4K Max. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because if I go over 1, I want you to pay attention to this cache right here that you see. It says 16.38 KB, kilobytes, okay? So, on 4K Fire Sticks, second generation Fire Sticks, and all the Fire TVs, usually when you go and clear the cache, that goes down to 0. However, on the new 4K Max, it will never go down to 0. It'll hit 0, but once you hit the back button, it'll jump back to 16.38. But I talked to Amazon, I talked to the technicians there, I asked why this is happening. They told me that it's just a system cache that it automatically hits, but it's the equivalent of being at 0 cache when it comes to us clearing the cache. So even though it says 16.38 kilobytes on a 4K Max, it's the equivalent of 0. If you have a 4K, it'll just be at 0 itself. Okay, if you have a second generation, it'll be just at 0. But 4K Max, 16.38. And I'll show you that. I'm going to click on Alexa Shopping. And these are the two things that you need to do. You want to click on Force Stop. And you want to go down and click on Clear Cache. Notice how I went to 0, but once I hit the back button, it jumps back up to 16.38. But it is equivalent of 0, so you're good. If I go to Amazon Kids, I click on it. I'll click on Force Stop. And I click on Clear Cache. Now, Force Stop is closing the app in the background. You're not really going to see anything, but if you had it open, it's going to close it in the background. And then you're going to hit the back button again. And we're going to go down to the next one. And you're going to click. See how this one says 2867? That means that this app has been running in the background. So we're going to click on it. We're going to Force Stop it. And we're going to go down and click on Clear Cache. Do not clear data on anything, guys, because you're going to be clearing out your credentials. If you have Netflix and stuff, you clear out your username and password. You're going to have to relog in. There's no need to clear the data. Just Force Stop and Clear Cache will do the job. Okay? You hit the back button and you move on to the next application. And so on and so on. Like this one is at 20.48. Force Stop and Clear Cache. And I'm not going to go over everything because obviously you get the points. There are applications that will make this job a lot easier so you don't have to go through every single one here. But right now I'm doing it old school. I like doing it this way because I make sure I don't miss anything. Sometimes the applications that do it for you may miss an application or two that may be causing you issues with your buffering. And that is it. So we have turned off certain features that take bandwidth. We have clear the cache. We have Force Stop. You have an understanding of how the 4K Max works with the cache versus the other Fire Sticks. This should help with your buffering issues. But again, you're going to have the other video called Fire Stick Buffering 101. The link is going to be in the description of this video. Check that video out if you're still continuing to have buffering problems. Okay? And I hope this helps you out. Leave me comments below, guys. Let me know if it worked, if you're having issues, if you tried everything and you're still having buffering problems. Let me know. I'll see if I can help you guys. Don't hesitate to just ask me questions or let me know how I did. You know, if I missed anything. You have been watching DFM TV. I am Dan the Firestick Man, your source for entertainment. And until the next video, guys, happy streaming.